Hello and welcome. My name is Naso, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a Bob Ross barn. But not just any Bob Ross barn. We're going to go ahead and do this up a little bit. So anyway, I had a special request on how to actually do this to make it more accurate. Bob Ross does a phenomenal job with his quick little paintings and stuff like that. But if you want to go to the next level, you can actually go ahead and put in a lot more detail. So initially, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to just do a basic drawing, and then we're going to get in a lot more detail. So I'll show you that. Looking at something like, and this is just a rough sketch. Now Bob Ross has a slight little angle like that. Alright, so that's a basic Bob Ross sketch. Nothing crazy, but you can actually, this is charcoal, you can actually go ahead and paint or draw right on top of your oil painting after it's dried. You can also do this with acrylic. The nice part with this too is if you're not 100% happy with what you have, you just go ahead and erase it until you get to where you want it to be. But these are really rough lines, and I did that on purpose to show you, yes, you could definitely go ahead and paint something like this, and it goes right over top of the lines. And you could do something really quick and simple. But if you want to get into a lot more detail, that's why I brought you here today. So the gentleman that actually asked me the question, his name is Bobby, and Bobby, thank you very much for that question. I'm going to show you the best I can on how to get a lot more detail with your drawings. So there's different ways of doing perspective. And in Bob Ross's version, he actually does a two-point perspective. So basically you have a horizon line going across here, a dot, dot, and these lines are coming this way. So that's actually his version of a basic two-point perspective, which how he's actually doing it is pretty impressive. So he's actually doing it on wet canvas with oil painting with no drawings. So yeah, definitely props to you, Bob.
Let's do a building. Heck with all this. I'm going to come right. What I find it's easiest if you take your knife and scrape out a basic shape. Let's do an old barn today. What the heck? Maybe we'll do a big building.
Anyway, we're going to show you how to do this. So let me bring it closer so you can actually see it. So this is a barn, like a Bob Ross style barn, in what they refer to as two-point perspective. It actually is a lot more simple than it seems. We'll put it up here for reference. So basically you want to start out with your drawing paper, or you can actually, with charcoal, you can actually go ahead and paint or draw right on the canvas and then paint right over top of the charcoal. And you can also erase the charcoal. So I have some videos that actually show you how to do that as well. So we need a straight edge that's long enough to cover virtually the entire paper. And we're going to draw a line all the way through like that. And right here, we're going to put a point called a vanishing point. And right here, I'm going to put another one. So another vanishing point. So again, this is the horizon line. And what is an horizon line? The horizon line is actually a line that separates the sky from the earth or the land. Now in this case, this is basically where your eye level is. So in this case, and to follow Bob Ross's picture, so it actually makes it easier for you to actually paint this or draw it and then paint in afterwards, we're going to copy what he had, which is basically, here's your focal point, your eye level, and we're kind of looking down at the building. Alrighty? So what I'm going to do is grab a long enough straight edge where I can actually go ahead and start doing some points. So let's go ahead and start right here. We're just going to put a line, and this line goes straight up and down. This is the corner of the building, the barn. So now we're going to go from this point and bring it all the way to that line. So you can do it lightly so you can see where it's going. I know the bottom of the base of the building is right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and rough that in. This is the other side. So the other side goes straight up. Now on this side, we're going to do this side of the building. We're going to start with just this box, this part. We're not going to do the outside part of the barn yet. So we'll just do this side. And this goes all the way through like that. From here to the vanishing point right here. So you're getting, so it's kind of like a box. It is a box. I'm going to make it look like a box, so this makes more sense. So going from this point to this vanishing point. And then this is where it ends, right there. So now you can see that we have a box, and this is in what they refer to as 2-point perspective. So you have this point, and these lines are all vertical. They go straight up and down. These will taper off to the vanishing points. So that's how you do that. So now we're going to go ahead and do the peak of this barn. And how do you do that? One of the best ways, I'm going to use a different color so this makes more sense. So I'm just going to go from this corner to this corner, the opposing corner, and just draw a line through it. We're going to do the same thing with this side. And now this intersecting point is the center point of this part. So if I want to put a peak up here, like it is right here, how do you find that point? Easiest way, draw an X, you have the center line, now you just go straight up and down. And you could grab, say like you want the roof line to be right here. That's where the point starts. So we'll do that in red. So that's going to be the center line point of the roof. Let me go ahead and make that a little darker so you can see that too. So that's a center point. Now you want to go off the point right here, which is the top of the barn. I'll go right up to the peak of the roof, and you can drop that down. We'll do the same, grab that point and go straight down. So now you have the roof line. Let's go ahead, and this is where it can get a little bit tricky. So we could rough it in or we could be precise, and I'm going to show you both. So we need the top of the roof, and it's going to go off to the left vanishing point because it goes down this way. Alright, so all you have to do is grab that point, go all the way to this vanishing point, and draw a line. But now we need to find this one. And how do you do that? You could kind of rough it and bring this over, but to me it's not the most accurate. So the most accurate way to do it, I mean, you could easily just go ahead and just draw in a line right there, and it looks pretty good. But if you want it to be more accurate, we want to make this part right here into a box. So that way you could do this here. And how do you do that? Take this vanishing point to the back corner here and draw it all the way through. Then you do the same thing with this one that's on the top of that box in the back. So now if you can see this, you have the back wall here. So this is like you're inside the barn and you're actually looking at the wall from inside the barn. Alrighty, so let's see here. We need to find out where this back wall goes. To do that, you go from this corner to the vanishing point, and you draw a line through that, and that's where these two lines intersect, is where that wall is. So now you just go straight up. So now you have this box right here, which is the back wall inside the barn. What you want to do is now make that into an X as well. And do that lightly. Okay, so now you have the X here to show the center point of this face. You want to see the center point of this back face, so it lines up just right. So now that that X is there, all you have to do is go straight up. And where this roof line ends and that line meets is the top of the peak of the back of the roof. So now you could connect these two dots, and now you have the front or the edge of the back of the roof. So not too bad, right? And of course you could go ahead and rewind this and go through this as many times as you need to. Don't be afraid to stop. This doesn't necessarily happen overnight. You might have this, it might be pretty simple for most people. For most people, doing this box shape isn't too bad. Doing the more elaborate part where you get the roof to be really accurate, that's where it gets to be a little bit tricky. But once you get this down, then you can start working with all the rest and you can make some very accurate drawings. So now let's go ahead, we're going to embellish this a little bit more. And I'm going to go from this point, and we're going to extend this barn out. Bob Ross normally does these little extensions on the side, so let's do that. Okay. So what I did is I indented it a little bit. To do that, all you have to do is go from the vanishing point and extend this all the way through, and then take this corner and bring it to the other vanishing point, and you notice they meet right there in that corner. Well, that's where this line goes up. So because sometimes you don't really know where that line is going to, you could bring it up and do it lightly, so you have what they call a construction line. So now, let's say like this was the top of this roof over here. Let's grab that point and let's bring it back this way. And in this case, we're going to bring it all the way back to the back of the barn here. And now, how do you get this angle? This part's not bad at all. All you have to do is say, I want this to be this tall, and then have the roof on it at that point. So to make it that tall, put a dot there, connect the vanishing points, and now you have that side of the barn. All you have to do now is connect this line or this dot to this dot to get your roof slope. Now if you want to extend it to have an eave, all you have to do is continue that line to go past the wall right here, and then do that. And then you'd erase this part right here, so I will do that. Now, let's go ahead and do the same thing to this roof right here on the top. So we want it to, this is the top of the wall of the barn, right here. But we want the roof to extend beyond that. So let's grab this point right here and bring it all the way through until it matches with the one we already did. So that's the roof. Now we can make this part right here darker. And then now at this point, all these lines inside can all be erased. All the red lines right there, so they could go bye-bye. Alright, now let's go ahead and we'll continue this part. So let's take this roof, grab it right here and here, and let's darken this in. Oops. I'll darken that in. Okay, and now let's go ahead and put a door right here. To do a door, you want vertical lines. Okay, so now you can take it from here and go straight up, and you can make the door, the opening, go as tall or as short as you wish, and we're kind of just roughing it in as far as the measurements are concerned. But we want this to go straight up. Now this one, the top, we need to make sure that it's in the right perspective, and to do that, all you have to do is grab this vanishing point and connect these two right over the top, and there's your opening for your door. Let's see. And now if you want to go ahead and continue one of these on this side, again grab that vanishing point, and if you want it to line up with this one, how this indents, but we want this to indent as well, it's easy. All you have to do is grab that vanishing point, match your straight edge up with this side, and continue it over to that side. So now it indents. We're going to make it that tall. And now, if we want this roof line to match this one, we need to go and grab that point, this point, and do an imaginary line, and where these lines meet is the same exact size as over here. So now all you have to do is line this up. So you have the where you wanted to stop the side right here, you grab that dot, and where these lines meet up, you grab that, and you just run it over. So now we're getting a 2-point perspective barn. If you want to add a little bit more depth to the door right here, doorway, we're going to go ahead and put a piece of wood right in here. So we're grabbing this vanishing point, bringing it over here and putting it right in front of that door. And now all we have to do here to give it some thickness is go straight up. So now you could add windows, you could do all sorts of stuff. You could add more buildings. If you take it off that perspective, this horizon line, you could put buildings all over the place. Just go off of that. So say like you're doing this. You could do another one right in through here, and now you have another box. And you can keep going as much as you like. So I want to thank you very much for joining me today. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in comments. Be more than glad to help. This was a special request, so I'm here for you guys. I'll do the best I can. If you have questions, just put them in the comments. Don't forget to give me a like and a thumbs up. And please subscribe. It definitely helps with viewing, so you can actually see more of these. And so thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Ray Naso, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.